Stormtrooper twice lined up in rows. Let's go! Reviewing each one with the passion it shows. It's so plastic to metal, he knows them so well. Stormtrooper swagger, his story to tell. Tune in for Bert, he's the toy expert. Let's go! From action to arcade, see the best displayed. Fun never ends with our toy-loving friend. Bert's the one we know, bringing every show.
Hello and welcome to That's Just Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Age of Extinction Optimus Prime, and I love this toy. Released in 2025, this figure is brand new and available right now as of the time of this recording. It is a leader class figure and retails for approximately $55. And Prime here comes with everything you see included. So we're going to start out with the box. We'll set these guys off to the back. And we can see the new style of the Studio Series packaging. I've noticed now with the last couple of Studio Series, they've taken away the number. So remember, we used to have the Studio Series in a number. That seems to be gone. No more numbers, just Studio Series. That's all we're getting. We do get the Age of Extinction right there. We do have a window box, and also gone are the backgrounds. Those backgrounds are gone. The backgrounds were cool, I thought, but I personally didn't use them. I have saved a couple of them, but I've never used them. I don't have the space for them. I don't know that anybody that uses them either. So that is, give or take for me. One way or the other does not affect me at all. If you are one of those collectors that collect those backgrounds, I'm sorry to say they are no longer included. Got some really cool artwork of Prime right there in his Western Star truck mode, and then you can see his head up there at the top. Over to the side, that artwork is just going to continue into the Transformers logo right there with the Autobot symbol, leader class figure. On the other side, more artwork of Optimus Prime, and then along the back we've got the product shots of the figure showing us the figure in his vehicle mode, the robot mode, 44 steps transformation, and a couple of poses there holding his weapons, as you can see, and then a screenshot from the movie. Prime here also comes included with everything you see here. So you're going to get a sheet of instructions. I was able to transform him without the instructions, so that's something that I like. I like when the figures have a transformation that's complex enough to keep you entertained and it's fun, but not so complicated that you have to keep going back and forth through the instructions. I usually like to open them up, see if I can transform them without looking at the instructions, and then I go through the instructions to see if there's anything that I missed, or if I get stuck along the way, that kind of a thing. So, but there you go. You get the sheet of instructions. Very well done, very easy to read. We got a couple of weapons. So we get the shield right here. The shield actually does something very cool that I'm going to show you. We get this clip right here, which I'm going to show you what this clip does. And then we get two swords. We get his actual, his knight sword right there. And then we also get his blade that pops out of his arm. And then, of course, we get the figure itself. So taking a closer look at the figure itself right here, we see Prime in his Western Star truck mode. Very nicely done. This is a really, really nice looking truck. You can see the truck is mostly done in blue with the flames, and I really like the flame patterns and the way they painted them all the way to the back. This is one of those things that usually with retail releases, they've given us like 10 different ways of doing these flames, and they don't always go all the way back. So I like that they actually did go all the way back. Looking really, really nice. Nice silver paint here on the top and in the front for the grill and the bumpers. We have silver paint for the wheels, which is also really nice. However, we don't have any paint for the steps and the tanks or the smokestacks. That's a missed opportunity right there, especially for a Studio Series figure. Again, the Studio Series figures, they are, it just seems like, again, I've said it before, sizes are going down, prices are going up, and some of the level of detail that are going into these figures also seems to be going away. We got a little bit of the silver paints there, but then they just kind of left it out here on the steps, the tanks, and the smokestacks. That is a shame. Really would have liked to see that painted instead of that just unpainted gray right there. And we're going to see some of that in the robot mode as well. Going around the back, you know what is really nice about this vehicle is that there isn't really a whole lot of robot parts showing. There are some if you know what you're looking for, but if you don't, really, it really does just look like a toy truck, and I really do like that. This figure does accomplish what I think Studio Series should be doing, which is the vehicle looks like the vehicle we saw on the screen, and the robot is going to look like the robot that we saw on the screen. It does a really good job of that as well. Now, we also have a hitch right here. So I know that you guys are going to be curious. So for the ones that are curious, yes, it does work with Earthrise Optimus Prime's trailer. So you can actually mount that in there. Now the trailer is, I think, way too short for that truck, but it does work. You can actually put the trailer up there and it will work. So yeah, for those of you that like to see what trailers work on what, there you go. It does work. Now, again, going back to the whole sizes are getting smaller and all of that thing, right? So here in vehicle mode, we are looking at approximately 7 inches in length and about 3 inches tall at the top of the roof, 3.5 if you go to the top of the smokestacks right here. What does that mean? That means that this leader class figure is about the same size as the last night Premier Voyager figure. If you can see those right there, they are about the same size in truck mode. Let me move this up. As you can see right there, again, this is the Studio Series leader on the left. This is the last night Premier Voyager here on the right. And it looks like it might be just a hair longer right there. And then height-wise, they're about the same. So, yep, in truck mode, these guys are about the same size. Another size comparison, here he is with, again, this is the last night leader class. This is the caliber version of the same figure, so you can see what the two of them look like together. We'll set this guy off to the side, and we'll talk weapons. Now, one thing that I do miss about these figures is that they used to do a really good job of storing weapons underneath the vehicle, right? So that you didn't have weapons hanging out on the top right here. Unfortunately, this one, it's not going to be the case. So we got a couple of accessories here that we need to store in vehicle mode. There is no undercarriage storage. So what we can do right here, you can put the shield here like that. You can also use this little clip right here, clip that on the shield like so, and then we can take the sword and sheath it right into that, okay? So now you can take this, and how did that work? Did it work this way or did it work this way? I think it was this way. And then that can clip right in there. So this is how you can store those weapons right there. And then for the blade, there's a little slot right there on this side, and there's a tab right there by the wheels. So you can tab that sword right in there, if I can see what I'm doing. And actually, my tab is really super tight, but there you go. That would be how you would store the weapons for this figure. Not the best weapon storage, if you ask me. You know, he rolls okay, and the truck looks okay. Yep, it's a little smaller than what we're used to seeing in the leader size, but it is actually a really, really nice looking truck. To transform Prime into his robot mode, we're going to start right here at the side of the truck. We're going to take these panels right here, we're going to unclip them and just kind of bring them out like so. These are going to be the robot's feet. So just unclip those, bring those out. And we're just going to start kind of untabbing everything. So let's see, we're going to take, where do we want to go? Yeah, we're going to take the roof right here, and we're going to split this up. And then we're going to use these hinges right here to elevate the whole thing up like so on these two hinges. Go ahead and separate those like that. And then we're going to take the back of the truck and we're going to separate that as well. These hitches right here, these halves of the hitches, these can flip over. Take the wheels and flip them down all the way, and then this is going to come all the way down. These tanks are going to go into the inside of the leg. There is a double hinge here, so make sure that you're using both of those to bring that all the way down, and as you do so, bring the wheels back up and tab them into place. Take this piece right here, we're going to rotate that. This piece is going to be the heel, this piece is going to be the toe. And then be careful with these heels right here. These tend to pop a lot. At least on my copy, these pop very, very easily. Now, we're going to take this piece right here. We're going to take this panel right here to kind of swing it out. And then take the roof and swing it down. Go ahead and bring this down. We're going to rotate the whole thing up and over like so. And then we're going to tab. Using this tab, we're going to tab in that slot right there. We're going to tab that in place. And then over here on the side of the wheel, we had a tab. This was the tab that we used for the sword. And we're going to tab that into that slot right in there behind that roof panel. That's going to tab right there, like so. Finally, rotate the leg, and there you go. You got one leg done. So once again, open up the wheels, bring down the tanks, get them inside of the leg right there, and then bring the tanks back up and close those. Open the heel, open the toe, turn the foot around, bring this piece down, open that, flip the roof in, bring that down, and then take the whole back of the truck with the roof, flip that out like so, bring that down, tab it into place, and as you can see, I've lost a heel piece already, and that just snaps right back into place right there. Rotate the leg, and there we go. We've got our legs are pretty much done. Let's bring the camera up some. And we can go ahead and rotate at the waist. This piece right here is tabbed in, so untab that. There's a tab there in the slot. And then just bring that all the way down. I absolutely love what they've done here with the torso. So we're going to start with the arms back here. We're just going to kind of bring these out. And yep, okay, so that whole thing is going to separate like so. And then these are going to come out like this. Take the arms, they are tabbed into the inside of that panel right there, so just untab that. Straighten out the arm. The little shoulder piece right here, this is also tabbed in. There's a little tab right there. Rotate that out, and then rotate the arm around like so. Finally, this little panel right here is going to fold in like so. Leave that there. We're going to do the other arm as well. So we're going to untab the arm, untab the shoulder piece, untab the arm, straighten out the arm, rotate the shoulder piece, rotate the arm, and then this panel right here is going to rotate into that panel there. Now, I love this next part. We're going to take the front wheels right here. We're going to separate those from the grill. And then we're going to bring these all the way down like this. And they are actually going to go, the whole front wheel wells and the front wheels are going to go inside of the robot's torso. Absolutely love that. Once you got these guys down here, you can take the little side skirts and bring these down like so. And then bring the arm in. You're going to want to bring this in at an angle like so. Take the whole roof of the truck, or the front of the truck right here, just kind of move it back and out of the way. And we want to line this up in a way like that. Want to make sure that everything is nice and flush here in the back. Right here. There. Now, we're going to take the chest right here. This piece of the chest is going to flip out to form pretty much the entirety of the chest. And then this is going to come down. Now, this gets a little tricky. There are tabs here and here that need to go into these slots here and here. And then these two tabs here and here need to go into the back of the, right down here, next to the wheels. Okay? And I lost my heel piece again. So this part right here, you got to kind of bring all of this down. And then you got to work it. And you kind of got to feel your way around it. There's really no other way about it. You have to feel your way in there to get those tabs all in place. As you can see, I'm not getting this one in place. I'm getting 3 out of 4 right now, but I'm not getting that one. And I noticed that right away in the packaging that these kind of armpits here were very loose. As you can see now, as I'm pulling on it, the armpits, or whatever you call these, are not coming out. Okay, so that's there. That's now in place. And then we'll finish the robot off by taking the doors right here. We're going to split them from the hood, bring them all the way up. We're going to move the little roof piece right there to kind of give yourself some room. Rotate this around. This is kind of tricky and scary. There's a little tab in there. The whole hood right here is going to hinge upwards ever so slightly and lock into those tabs right there just to make the backpack smaller. It's kind of scary, but you notice that it is tabbed in right there. Take the grill, put that right in there, bring these down. Now you're going to take the doors right here and you're going to fold them at a 90-degree angle like so. There is a tab right there that's going to go into this slot right there. So you want to get these at a 90, like so. And then when you bring this down, you can tab those doors into those sides right there. Bring this piece down, and there we have Optimus Prime in his robot mode. And I gotta say, this robot mode looks fantastic. Again, I think that Studio Series accomplished what Studio Series sets out to do in this case, right? That truck mode looked really good. There wasn't a whole lot of junk hanging out of it, or hardly any junk really hanging out of that truck. That truck looked really, really good. And we've got a robot here that looks very solid. It looks very much like the model that we saw on screen. And you know, they have to do a little cheating because the robot, the model on the on screen, the screen model did a lot of cheating. So the toy has to do some cheating. I think it does its job really, really well. I think this looks fantastic. The figure stands approximately 7 inches tall and just kind of going all the way around. So you can see, I really love the way that they compacted the whole roof of the truck right here into the side of the legs. That makes for a really, really clean leg, I think. You've got the front of the truck hanging off his back. It's not the first time that we've seen it. It's probably not going to be the last. Again, this figure has to do some cheating to accomplish the look that it's trying to accomplish. But there you go. I think that looks really, really nice. Getting in close to see the face sculpt. I love the face sculpt, and I love the fact that they gave us a face shield. Thank you. I love it when my Optimus Primes have face shields. Articulation-wise, this figure is insane with the articulation. Head is on a bulge, and you got inquisitive tilting back and forth, up and down, side to side. The shoulder pads are on double hinges, so you can move them in and out of the way, as well as a rotation, so that you can do all kinds of posing with them. As if those shoulder pads are going to get in the way of your posing, you have a double hinge here that you can play with to move those pads out of the way. Arms can go in and out, forward and backwards, all the way around. Rotation at the bicep. You got a bend at the elbow, just a little over a 90. You got rotation at the wrist, and the fingers can also open. You had a rotation at the waist. As you saw, the skirts can also move. Legs can go forward, that back. Forward that far, back that far, in and out all the way. Rotation at the thigh, bend at the knee. You have the ankle, or the toes can tip forward and backwards, and you have ankle tilts. So again, a lot of articulation and a lot of posability with this figure. Weapons wise, also the wrists can lean in. They can go in as well. That's part of the articulation that I didn't bring up. The wrists can go in. Why? Because you've got that blade. If that blade's got a tab in the back, you can tab that right in there. So he can hold the blade in his hand if you want him to hold the blade like this, or you can attach it to that little port right there, right behind his wrist. So you can attach those there. Little tabs came off. Let me see if I can get those back in. So there you go. So you can actually have the blade coming out of his arm, which I think is absolutely awesome. As far as weapon storage goes, we can take the little roof piece here and flip it up and over. That reveals a port right there. So we can take the shield. You can take the shield and just plug it in back there if you want, or you can use this little piece again and have that back there to sheath the sword. And because it's on a port and a peg, you can turn it, you can angle it, you can do whatever you want with it, which I think is very, very cool. You can also take the shield, and because it's got that 5mm port, you can peg it here to the side. Real quick, before I do that, one more thing that the shield does that is very, very cool. You'll notice on the inside here, it looks like it's got a little gun. So these halves of the shield actually pop off. They're on pegs and ports. So that gives you another weapon right there. And then you can take the pegs right there and put them on the outside ports. So the shield actually opens, revealing that gun. So you can still use this as a shield, or you can use it as a weapon as well. Very, very nicely done. This figure has so many play options. I absolutely love it. And of course, he can hold his sword as well. You can open his hand and you can take the sword, and it will snap in there. Let me see if I can do this without taking the whole figure apart. There you go. Snaps right in. Close the fingers up. And there you go. There you got Prime wielding all of the weapons that he comes with. Now, details-wise, as I mentioned earlier, you'll notice that in the paint department, the reds and the blues all look really, really good. You got a couple of gold details here. You got some gold down here at the knees. You got some gold here at the torso. But all of the parts that would normally be silver are just unpainted gray, and I think that is a shame. I think this figure could have really used that premium paint job, have some silver on the arms, on the thighs right here, on the torso, on the face. It's just sorely missing that silver paint. Other than that, that's really kind of my only gripe with this figure is the lack of paint. Other than that, I'm not really even that bothered about the smaller size. It's a fun size to handle. It's kind of just a fun figure to handle and to play with. Super posable, really nicely detailed everywhere. Lots of weapons, lots of play options with this figure. This is a very, very fun figure. My only gripe with it would be the lack of the silver paint. For comparison, here he is with the Last Knight Premier Voyager Optimus Prime, who is just a hair taller than this guy is. And you can see what the two of them look like together. Fun figure, kind of basic, fun. It's fun to transform. It looks good in truck mode. It looks all right in the robot mode. It does have silver paint, which this guy's lacking. So up points for that. But there you go. So you can see what the two of them look like together. And again, here he is with the Last Knight Leader Class Caliber Optimus Prime. And I still think that this is probably the best retail version of this model that we've got. This model of Prime, I think this is still the best retail version that we've gotten. This is probably the best one, in my opinion. I still think this one's the best. Again, playing with this figure to get it ready for this review, I'd forgotten what a joy it is to play with this figure. This figure is absolutely fantastic. But there you go. Yeah, and again, I know some of you are not going to be happy about the difference between a leader class, what was it, about 10 years ago, leader class here on the right, and a current leader class here on the left. Again, things are getting smaller and more expensive. That's just the way things go. And I know some of you are not going to like it, and all I can say about that is, vote with your wallet, right? And then one last comparison. Here he is with G1 Optimus Prime. This is, of course, the Missing Link Convoy version, so you can see what the two of them look like together. So there he is. One last look at the Age of Extinction Studio Series Optimus Prime. I think this is a great figure. I know some of you guys are not going to be happy about the size. I know some of you guys are not going to be happy about the paint. Perfectly understandable points. If you can get past that, or if you're like me and that's just not one of those things that bothers you, the truck mode looks great. The robot mode looks great. The transformation is fun. Lots of weapons, cool accessories, lots of play options with this figure. This is a fun figure. Absolutely great addition to any Transformers or Optimus Prime shelf. And I think that about does it for the Transformers Studio Series Leader Class Age of Extinction Optimus Prime. What did you think of this figure? Let me know down in the comments. Give me some thumbs up. Like, subscribe, and share with your friends if you like what you see. As always, thank you so very much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time on That's Just Prime.
The best displayed fun never ends with our toy-loving friend. First the one we know, bringing every show.